Hey guys, welcome to another BSSM update. Um, One of the things that they really stress here in school is the concept of receiving, learning to receive God's love and what He has for us. Um, because a lot of times, me included, we have a hard time like just accepting from God for whatever reason. We feel like we have to earn it or perform, or that we're not good enough, or thinking less of ourselves and thinking it's humility. But really it's just false humility, because if God says, we're amazing, we're, new creations, that He sees us as all these positive things, and we're like, oh no, I suck, I'm the worst. Like, that's actually pride, right? Because we're asserting our own opinion instead of and over God's opinion, right? So it's saying like, I'm right and God's wrong, right? So like, that's pride. And also, like, it's very dishonoring to God, because like if you looked at a painting like the Mona Lisa and you're like, oh, this painting sucks, like that's not like that's like dishonoring to the artist, right? And so like if we're God's masterpiece and we're like saying all this terrible stuff about ourselves, like that's not honoring to God. Anyways, so this concept of receiving, like learning to accept God's love and really like let Him love us and feel His compassion for us. I've realized that my dogs, actually, that's why they're featured in this video right now. They have a lot to teach me about about receiving, and I'll explain. Dogs are very good at receiving, right? Like they okay, come on guys. Dogs are very good at receiving, and like I feel God talking to me through them, actually. Like my one dog, Wendy, this one right here, she is my cuddle bug. Oh, Miss Little, wait. She is my cuddle bug. Like, she always wants to cuddle and snuggle all of the time. So like in the morning I wake up and she's just like, spread eagle, like all over me, just like belly up, wanting me to rub her, and like has her head like draped over my shoulder. And I just love it. Like, every morning she just wants to cuddle, you know and so she just like really receives my love like so well. Like, they don't have a problem coming up to me and begging for food. They, like, I give them little treats and they love it. They have no problem receiving it. They're not like, oh, we don't deserve it. We barked too much today and we didn't sit when you told us to sit. And, the neighbor's dog is just so much better behaved than we are. And, maybe they deserve the treat and not us. It's like, no, the dogs are just like, you have a treat for me? Oh, and they're so excited and they just like take it without like any question. They're such good receivers. If I ever want to give them a little butt scratch, you know, they are down for it. They're not going to be like, oh no, I didn't earn it. I don't deserve it. I didn't perform well enough. I'm not good enough, and like all these things, like God keeps showing me, He's like, Grace, the way that your dogs just like receive love from you and like how you feel towards them, like I love their stinking butts. Okay, like I love their wiggle butts to death. And they don't do anything to deserve it. Like, they don't work a 9 to 5 to help put food on the table. Like, I go out and spend my hard-earned cash on dog food for them, which is like more expensive than food for me. Like, what is that? Like, they never miss a meal when I have missed several meals, let me tell you. So they definitely eat better than I do. They don't contribute to this household in any way. I'm the one going out and scooping their poop, and picking it up, you know, and they just stand by and watch it happen. They don't, they don't help clean up around the house, but they definitely help mess the house. Like, there's always dirt and paw prints everywhere. But like, does that make me love them less? No, like I love them to death. Like there's nothing I wouldn't do for these guys, you know? And God's like saying, like, Grace, like the way you feel about your dogs is just like a hint of the way that I feel towards you. You know, like, humans obviously can't love to the extent that God can love. And we're talking about a dog. And God's like, you're my daughter. Like, you were created in my image. How much more worthy are you than the dogs? And like, just thinking about this, I'm just like, it's just like wrecking me, because I'm like, it's so hard for me sometimes to just like really believe that God loves me, or to believe that I'm special to Him. And I'm like, and God's like, Grace, how special are your dogs to you? And I'm like, very, thanks. He's like, would you care? How would you feel if like I just took your dogs away and just gave you 2 other random dogs? I'd be like, no, I'm about to fight you, right? So he's like, Grace, you're not replaceable. Like, you're not just another girl and like a planet full of billions of people, right? And I felt that way a lot of times. I'm like, God, how can I be special to you when there's like billions of people on this planet? And like, that's just in this moment. Like, there's been thousands of years of people that have lived also, so I don't even know how many billions of people have like existed, or trillions, And God's like, I have a special relationship with you the same way you do with your dogs. And your dogs don't earn your affection. They don't do anything to deserve, the things you do for them, or like deserve your love, but they're so good at receiving it. And it's like, Grace, how would you feel if your dogs like didn't let you pet them because they didn't feel worthy? And I'd be like, it would make me really sad. And like God tells her the same thing. He's like, Grace, like I have so many blessings for you, and there's so many things I want to give you, and so like many like words of affirmation I want to give you. And like when you reject it because you don't feel worthy, or you feel less than, or like bad about yourself, like it hurts me. God's telling me like it hurts his heart. And he feels how I would feel if my dogs wouldn't let me love them, right? I want to love you. Yes, a good girl. She's a good girl. so, so my point is there's a lot to learn from dogs, right? Okay. There's a lot to learn from my dogs. And God's telling me like I've given you these dogs as a gift and a measure of grace, so you can see like what receiving really looks like without any thought of like no self-consciousness whatsoever. Like they just receive, and they're grateful, and they're so loving, and they never think like, oh, did I deserve it? Like is mom mad at me because I left a really big stinky poop outside, or so like whenever I start to feel like unworthy, or I don't deserve God's love, or I need to perform or give something back to him in order for him to love me, I think of my dogs and like how they literally don't do anything helpful around the house at all, but yet I love them so much. and I just love to give them gifts. Like I buy them tons of toys all the time, even though they always end up just wanting to play with the stupid sticks in the yard rather than what are you doing? Rather than the toys I actually buy for them. Wendy, get down. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I love buying them gifts. All these cute little sweaters like for Halloween and Christmas, and like all the chew toys and treats. I just love it. It brings me joy to see them like so happily receive it, right? Like for those of you who have kids, or anyone who's like bought a present for a kid, like part of the joy in getting a gift for someone is like seeing how excited they are to receive it, right? It would kind of like suck if like you bought a gift for someone and they were just like really depressed about it, like, oh, thank you, but I don't deserve this. You should take it back. Give it to someone who's more willing and deserving, or someone who's more worthy and deserving. You'd be like, I bought this for you, right? And that's how God feels. So anyways, I hope that some of that was coherent, and that you could hear me through the sound of me being licked to death. Anyways, Wendy! Missiles, come say bye. Come say bye. Okay, say bye, guys. Bye. 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 See you guys later.